Good afternoon, everybody. It's your friend Sheep Ludes reporting live from my living room, I suppose. We have our first taste of 2K24 in my team. I'm sure majority of people watching this have probably seen information or seen pretty much majority of the stuff that's in the dev blog already, if not the dev blog itself. Why you're here, I'm not sure. Maybe you want some of my unique insight. Maybe you just want to see how my mustache is doing. Answer, not great. So, let's talk about 2K24 My Team. There has been a massive overhaul, a huge undertaking. The undertaking the United States should have done by building light rails, but here we are with no trains still. Quite a bit of moving parts here. We have a lot to dissect. We have, I don't want to say little time. I can literally sit here all night if I need to, but little time to discuss them. Now, divisive, to say the least, is what a lot of people are saying about this season, and I totally understand that. I don't even want to say season, this whole game. I'm kind of talking season 1 specifically, but let's just talk about my team as a whole. A lot of divisiveness. So, NBA 2K24's fan favorite mode, My Team, is back with more rewards, cards, packs, and modes to experience than ever before. That's a bold claim. I'm not 100% sure if that's accurate or not. Somebody fact check that. Don't know. The latest iteration of the NBA 2K franchise introduces changes to seasons and XP, the all-new salary cap mode, which we have some info on finally, and the various ways in which you can earn My Team points. It's all that and more. Hooray. My Team points and launch gem colors. NBA 2K24 brings foundational changes to the overall structure of My Team and your day-to-day playing experience. Okay. First, changes were made to the core currency in the mode. My Team points, so MT, earn rates for all modes have been greatly improved, basically doubled. Now, that's an important thing to note, is that they said basically doubled and not doubled, which means it's under what it would be, 2 times, essentially. So basically, if you played like a 5v5 game of My Team, typically you're kind of looking somewhere between like 1,000, somewhere around like 1,000 MT, right? So it's going to be closer to 2,000, if not over 2,000, which is better. Yeah, kind of wish it was a little bit more, especially when you start to read the other additional changes they've made. I have had an issue with just not giving enough MT period in the last few years, and this is a step in the right direction, but not necessarily the step we needed with the other changes that are being made, right? Bringing more flexibility to everyone just for playing games. This year is all about giving more value to My Team players. I highly doubt that. And it needed to start with more MT coming from the games played. Alongside this update, there are even more ways value has increased across the mode and new ways to earn MT. First, let's break down the gem colors that will be launching within My Team this year. In Season 1 and Season 2 as well, the top rewards in My Team will max out at a diamond. So they're going to max out at a 94 overall, which, here's my thoughts on that. From an overall pacing perspective, just from like an optical level, it's cool because like starting with the pink diamonds last year, it just felt like everything was rushed. Realistically, the cards from like how good they are perspective are going to be the same for the most part. I mean, there might be a few less Hoff badges on the initial like top tier cards for sure, but realistically, they're going to be basically the same. Like the pink diamonds we were getting in Season 1 of last year are going to be, I would say, equal in a usability standpoint with the diamonds of this year, right? This is going to be a few little tweaks. They're going to look a little bit worse, but they're basically the same, right? But it does do a lot from like an optical level because it feels like the pacing is going a little bit better. So it's actually kind of a smart move on their part. I wouldn't get too excited about it. Gem colors are kind of meaningless in 2K at certain points. It's really just when a card releases. And that goes for pretty much all card collection modes. It's not just 2K. It's just the most apparent in 2K, realistically. Top rewards in My Team will max out at diamond, and there will only be a handful available in Season 1. So it looks like Amethysts are kind of going to run the show from like a top tier perspective, which is interesting for sure. This is definitely from a gem tier level the slowest they've done in a long period of time. Community feedback is being implemented with a focus on delivering the best gameplay experience as possible, blah, blah, blah. Cool, okay. This is interesting, the 2K24 option pack. With 92 to 94 overall rated diamonds being the top cards in the early part of the year. By the way, it says that there's only going to be a handful of diamonds available. Don't even think that they're not going to be in packs. Foolish mortal. Of course they're going to be in packs. There's going to be like probably, 4 or 5 grindable diamonds, maybe. I mean, that's just a guess. It could be as low as like 2 or 3. And then there's going to be diamonds in packs. Let's not get it twisted. They're not going to start with amethyst in packs. I mean, if they do, that would be surprising, but I really don't think they're going to. That's just my personal opinion. A lot of my, let's just say, pessimism stems from 2K just doing horrendous stuff in the past and doing kind of like things that are skeevy, for lack of a better word. So it's like, I don't have the utmost faith in them that they're going to do things that benefit the player base, right? They're still going to try to milk you for every dollar that you have, basically, which I understand is going to happen in the landscape of gaming that we have today. But I just feel like maybe it's because I play the game religiously that I feel like the way 2K does it is worse. But I also kind of feel like it's that bad almost everywhere, especially in the card collecting modes. It's just that I play 2K the most, you know? That's just me. For those picking up the NBA 2K24 Black Mamba Edition, one of your bonus items is a 5-player option pack box, which includes your choice of an Amethyst, a Ruby, and 3 Sapphire player cards, making this one of the most powerful bonuses ever included with the game. Not exactly defeating the pay-to-win allegations there, 2K, but go off. In Season 1, the Ruby Giannis that comes with the Pro Pass or Hall of Fame Pass makes for incredible value in my team, especially with an extra Hall of Fame limited range badge coupled with it. Yeah, that is kind of... Yeah, I've gone off on the pass, trust me. The free pass season level rewards surpass all of these with a diamond player reward card at level 40, plus amethyst, ruby, and other player cards to improve your lineup in Season 1. With these gem colors leading the way, you will also be able to seek out great sapphire, emerald, and even gold player cards. Honestly, that's sick. I like using golds in the beginning. I know people don't particularly like that. I just like using lower gem tiers. I feel like it's better for pacing and such, you know? Now, you are getting a huge bonus by using the Pro Pass and the Hall of Fame Pass, but the bonuses aren't quite as aggressive as we thought they were going to be. I think they talk more about it later, so I'll talk about it then. Let me scroll down just to see. I think they do. They do. Okay, I'll talk about it more down there then. New player market. So this is the thing that has been causing, I would say, the second most divide in the community. Spoiler alert, they don't reference a 250K tournament at all in this dev blog, and they typically do. That's causing the most division in the community because people are understandably both hyped and mad that there's no 250K tournament. For sure, your average casual player, and when I say casual, I mean like plays a few times a week but is plugged into like content and like the Twitter community, they don't particularly care, and realistically, for them, their experience playing the game is probably going to be better with no 250K tournament, because when you bring a tournament in there for big money, it's going to bring people that are going to sweat more and they're going to take it more serious. So for your average casual player that's just playing this game for no particular reason, it's probably better that that tournament doesn't exist for them. I am not saying that's how I feel, but I'm saying for your average person, it's probably realistically better, right? The sweat lords will leave and go play something else, right? Making your experience a little bit better, a la kind of the older 2Ks. On the flip side of that, if you're somebody who takes this game super serious and you're like even remotely close to a comp level player, obviously, which is a very small minority, but even if you're in the comp mindset, but you're not there skill wise, it's probably going to lower your enjoyment or lower how much you care about the game mode. For sure, because there's no incentive to play it. Now, there's going to be the tournaments from, I forgot what the company is called, but basically they got a company to come in and do tournaments. And there's going to be those for sure, and they've announced that they're doing like co-op My Team tournaments, but it just doesn't have the same draw as the 250K tournament, right? That was like a big spectacle for sure. So, I don't know. Let me know down in the comments exactly how you feel about the lack of a 250K. That's to say if this isn't conjecture, like, there could very well be a large-scale tournament they just haven't announced yet. Who knows? Who's to say, honestly? As of right now, it looks like there isn't, but I'm sure they'll do something, I hope. And again, it doesn't really benefit them to do anything, so maybe they won't, you know? This year, we're introducing the player market, a new market that will grant access to almost any player card available. However, season mode and other player reward cards will still be attained by earning them. So when I first read this, I thought that this was the new token market. No. Dikembe Mutombo finger wag. This is, in fact, not the new token market. Community feedback is an action here. In previous years, the best player cards in the game were only directly available through the auction house at MT prices that could feel unattainable. Now, I agree with that sentiment. I've been saying it for years. Most of the top tier cards that come out in the game, for your average player, a lot of people who watch these videos specifically, because you guys are in the comments all the time, most of those cards feel unattainable because they're set at price points that are absolutely astronomical. And a lot of that does have to do with MT purchasing and bots, whether they're from 2K jacking up the prices or whether they're from MT sites. Nobody actually knows, so it's just whoever you feel like blaming at that point in time. But bots definitely run the auction house, and people buying MT causes the prices of cards to go way up. Granted, I don't, knock people for doing it, because in a pay-to-win experience, when you can guarantee yourself the cards, you're going to do what you got to do. But that's just kind of a cause and effect that's real. With great budget finds coming at the detriment of the players who listed player cards at that price, this was far from a fair system for my team players looking to add a new or favorite player to their collection. And now the player market replaces the auction house with a level playing field for everyone. Each card here will be available with transparent prices to add to your collection with your choice of VC or MT. That's interesting. You can use both. If you find yourself short on MT for a card you really want, now you can buy MT through 2K, which why it took them this long to do that, I'm honestly not sure, but whatever. For the first time ever, with each release, look for new collections to become available immediately. Collections that come with a completion reward will even show the reward in your progress alongside the cards. That's actually a good, change, actually, like a quality of life change. If you want, you can outright get an entire set for a discount. Okay, that's actually kind of cool too. All right, so here's the thing, right? People are definitely upset about the removal of the auction house, right? The auction house kind of, I want to say that it gave not just a sense of freedom, but it did give a bit of freedom to the player base. It allowed you to get the cards that you wanted, whether that was through illicit services or selling a badged up card. It's an interesting change to be made, because there's two kind of coins to this, right? I'll start with the first one. Right off the bat, it's going to raise the floor of budget cards, because I don't know if 2K is controlling the pricing or if it's if it's a demand thing. Nobody really knows how it's working quite yet. But it's going to raise the floor of certain budget cards. So budget cards are probably going to be a little bit more expensive than they were in the previous iterations, where you can get them for dirt cheap. But what this is also going to do is it's going to lower the ceiling of the higher tier cards, because I don't believe 2K is going to be putting cards up for 2 million MT, right? Which is things like Yao. I mean, they were consistently that much. They were completely unattainable for the average person. Now, am I saying this is necessarily a good change? Not really, because I don't know how it's going to work yet. I think that there's no way to really cast judgment on this change in the auction house format until we actually see it happen, because it's all going to depend on how you feel about 2K as a company. Like, do you think that they're going to completely screw over the player base with this, or do you think that this is like a good quality of life change? It's really all dependent on how you feel about 2K and how hyped you are for the experience. So there's really no point to speculate. My theory on it is it's just going to raise budget cards up a little bit, and it's going to lower the higher tier cards to like a manageable level, right? Because they're going to try to encourage people to buy MT. That's just how I feel about it. Maybe I'm wrong about that. We won't know until the game actually releases. It's really difficult to pass any type of judgment. Like, you can't really pass any judgment on it until we see it, because we have no idea how it's going to work. I do like the deal of the day thing, right? There's also a revolving deal of the day, which does exactly what it sounds like, making a different released player card available at discount every day. Definitely something to keep an eye on, yeah. I mean, I like that. To a certain extent, I like that. And we actually got our first look at one of the first promo cards here in Andre Iguodala, Legendary Path, playing small forward, of course. So, I mean, the deal of the day thing is kind of cool. It gives you a reason to get on and, like, check, and maybe you can, like, pick up a card that you really wanted for the cheap one day. I think it's a solid change. It's just I'm not really sure how I feel about it, personally. But that's how I feel about the whole market shift. I could see the positives. I can see the negatives. It's really, really difficult for me to pin it down one way or the other. I'm a natural 2K pessimist, right? So my first instinct is to be like, this is going to go poorly. Now, another thing I do want to kind of bring up a little bit is this hurts a lot of content creators. Same with the lack of 250K. It almost feels like these changes were made to target certain content creator demographics. If you're a conspiracy theorist, you may think that that's accurate, right? Because with the new market, I mean, the sniping community is done. I mean, you're not being able to snipe at this point because you're just buying them straight up for a set price point, and you're not going to be able to get them for any lower. I mean, there's going to be times where you can play market fluctuation and maybe sell them back for more expensive later or something potentially, but it's not going to be the excitement of like a snipe. That's gone. Like, that's not going to be in the game anymore, period. So it destroyed an entire community of people. What I will say about that from 2K's perspective is 2K doesn't care that it destroyed that entire community of people, because that entire community of people doesn't spend money because they snipe. So people are saying like, well, 2K is losing so many of their player base. I mean, realistically, those people don't spend money on the game, which is a good thing. I gotta say, that's a W for them to not spend money on the game. But from 2K's perspective, like, why would you care or cater to that group of people? Because they don't spend money, and obviously they're here to make money, right? So yeah, it also kind of hurts a lot of content creators that do like market watch and like market tip videos, myself included, though I don't particularly care. I'll make a whole video talking about the deal of the day if I feel like it, because I'm a man. Sorry. Look, I don't really think I don't care. It's just like, I'm gonna make videos and talk about this because I do it for fun, so I like don't care whatsoever. If I gotta talk about the deal of the day, if I gotta make a countdown of the top deals of the day, I'm gonna do it. You know, it is what it is. The purpose of the player market is to make these player cards accessible and straightforward for everyone to improve their lineups or to fill gaps in their collections. A detailed search is also available here for you to seek out your new 3-point marksman and whatever. This search even includes a filter for cards maximum salary for salary cap lineups. That's cool. Yeah, whatever. So we kind of got an idea of how it works here. Being able to directly add player cards to your collection goes hand in hand with also being able to sell them back for MT. So quick sell values are going to be a lot different than they were before. Now, if you open a lot of packs, this is actually kind of like if you're like me and you have horrendous pack odds, like absolutely trash pack odds, right? Some of the worst in the community, some may say. And you end up having to quick sell, or you end up having to put a bunch of cards in your auctions. It ends up eating a bunch of your time, right? This is going to be kind of a W for you if you don't have good pack odds, right? Because I'm able to just quick sell these guys for a solid value without having to do all that extra work, or without having to quick sell them for basically nothing. So that's cool. To put it clearly, the amount of MT you can get for quick selling a player is the highest it has ever been in my team. Granted, that doesn't really mean anything because it was so low before. At launch, Ruby player cards like 2K Date, Patrick Ewing will not only be some of the best cards available, that's crazy, but also can be sold directly for 25,000 MT, and even this value can be increased. That's nuts, dude. Rubies are 25,000. That's crazy. But I will save my judgment. We'll see. The My Team Authentic card grading service is back. Hooray. I was so concerned. And it has been reworked to boost the sell value of your player cards for the onion. Dude, what did I just try to say? Onion-initiated? Uninitiated. Jesus. All right. After a short wait, your cards will be returned in a sealed case. Basically, the cards go up in value based on what their grade is. Now, what they haven't referenced is, do the cards go down in value if you pull a 7? Like, if I roll a grade 7, does my card, like my Patrick Ewing, go from being worth 28,000 to like 22? Because then it's not really worth it. But you can re-roll 2 times, by the way, so you can essentially grade them 3 times. People are going to be grading a lot more cards now, which I think that's cool. I mean, if you're going to implement the grading system in the first place, like, at bare minimum, make it do something. I mean, we've been saying that for a while, right? Like, bare minimum, make it do something. That's it. So cool. Pack market. The new pack market is definitely the way to go when you know which player card you want to add to your lineup. Yep. New releases in the pack market will not only feature improved odds for rare player cards. I will believe that when I see it, okay? But the pack market will also include more options for guaranteed pulls with fan favorite pack types and more. To do that, more equal chance and option packs will be included with the new releases, along with the new Prime box. These 5-pack boxes guarantee a top tier player from that release, as well as multiple equal chance and option packs, and for the first time ever, a Hall of Fame badge. Once again, we're not defeating the pay to win allegations here. It's the game is much less a gambling simulator, which I think is a good step in the right direction, but it's starting to trend very, very heavily into pay to win territory, which I've always said the game is pay to win, but now there's no one can deny that the game is pay to win now. And I know there's inevitably going to be a sweat lord who pulls up like, I win with budget squads. No one cares, okay? If a game has pay to win mechanics, it's pay to win. If you can buy the best card in the game and somebody else, doesn't buy the best card in the game, right? If you can buy a card that someone else can only get realistically from spending money, then it's a pay to win game. I could have said that more eloquently, but it is what it is. The Hoff badge thing would be probably a bigger deal if you could sell the cards on the market. And there hasn't been anything that states that, like, obviously we talked about card grading, but I wonder if you put additional badges or additional Hoffs on cards, if their value increases. That's something that we have to see. Hollows are significantly, they bring a 4 times multiplier to how much the card is worth. So if you get a holographic Patrick Ewing, you can sell them for 112,000. That's huge. Now that means that hollows are going to be even rarer than they were the past couple years, but at least they mean something now. So that's a positive, I suppose, right? Now, I just realized this video is like 22 minutes long at this point, so I'm not going to necessarily breeze through some of this stuff, but I'm not going to go quite as in-depth on it, because the biggest things I wanted to cover were like the change in the pack market, change in the player market, the auction house for sure, and change in like a bunch of other stuff, whatever. Now you're able to use double XP tokens, so they're going to implement double XP tokens into my team in general. Now, they've changed how XP works, period. You're just getting XP for playing games now, which is a good change, I think. They also have the dynamic goals, which hopefully are less sadistic than they've been in the past. That would be ideal, because they've been borderline H.H. Holmes level sadistic in the past, like get 20 offensive rebounds with Grant Hill in a single game. Like this one, 20 points in a game using Gerald Green. It looks like they've kind of changed the dynamic goals into being just the same as the XP goals that we've seen over the past few years, and that's cool. Different daily cards have different dynamic goals. That's cool, I guess. The 2 XP tokens, I mean, whatever. It just depends how you earn them. Can you buy them? Probably, because it's 2K, and we'll see from there. So, cross progression with the same platform on new gen will return also. So if you're playing on current gen because you like the gameplay a little bit better, it's going to cross over to new gen. We kind of knew that was happening, but it's still nice. Season 1 rewards and tokens. Look at that. We're starting with a LeBron James free agent card. Honestly, the free agent card art's kind of hard. I like this little iron ore up here. That's pretty tight. Like a good earth metal, So what are you playing for in my team Season 1? It's a good question. This year, new and unique rewards are being added to the free passes season rewards, which will still resemble the season level rewards from previous years. Traditionally, you start blah, 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 Braun. Okay. Yeah, I know. Oh, you own... Okay. You earn 2 XP coins in-game somehow. They just don't tell you. For Season 1, player reward cards on the free pass, Kobe teammates and Kobe rivals, starting with Emerald KG, Emerald Jordan Clarkson, Stig. Sapphire Vlade Divac is going to run for me, for sure. I can just tell you that right off the bat, because that's the homie Smoke Sigs, so got to. Ruby Bradley Beal, okay. And center positioned Amethyst Magic Johnson. Oh, my God. They just can't resist, man. They can't resist a good center Magic Johnson. They love it. You will also receive an Amethyst Phil Jackson coach card. Nice. To lead your lineup with new coach boosts. We are going to talk about those in a second. Kyrie Irving is rated as one of the few diamonds available at launch, and your reward is reaching level 40. So Kyrie is level 40 here. And honestly, that's pretty cool. The fact that Kyrie's level 40, I'm hoping that means that small point guards are a little bit more useful. Or usable, I should say. So, I mean, I'm cool with it. Some people were upset. I don't need it to be a super powerful meta card initially. I'm cool with it being Kyrie. I'll use him. He'll probably be outclassed by someone in packs almost instantaneously. But with the Pro Pass, here's my thing is I think the cards that you get from the Season Pass and stuff, especially the ones that are from the Pro and the Hall of Fame Pass, I think are going to be eclipsed less quickly than we've seen them eclipsed in the past, because there is a monetary incentive per 2K to actually keep those cards relevant, right? Encourage people to buy the Pro Pass, etc. For those of you picking up the Pro Pass or Hall of Fame Pass, I don't know if I'm doing it, by the way, don't ask me. Yeah, basically you get a cooler Kyrie with a little snake down here. Honestly, it's pretty sick, right? So, the ultimate reward, right, for Season 1 is Brandon Roy, which is dope. Welcome back. The free pass, Kyrie, is one card that you need to get. In addition to that, the Season 1 collection rewards, Ruby player reward cards from each mode. So all the reward cards are rubies? That's really interesting. And seasonal tokens. So they've changed tokens into a more seasonal thing. So that's cool. So the token market's going to be seasonal as well. Sapphire Franz Wagner, Ruby Daryl Griffith. Hell yeah. Amethyst Tom Gugliotta. Dude, you'd love to see that. It's great. Along with the Ruby player reward cards being available in Season 1 for each of the seasonal modes, major changes are coming to the win rewards. Basically, all this says is that the animations for how you get a prize are not mode specific anymore, so they're going to switch around. So sometimes you'll be playing TTO and it'll be a ball drop. Sometimes you'll play it, it'll be a vault. It just kind of depends on, like, I don't know how they're figuring out when they switch, but that's a thing, I guess. I don't really care, though. I guess it'll tell you on the community hub. Cool. They're like events. Salary cap. The new multiplayer mode coming to my team. This type of mode does have a history, yes. Each season's salary cap will be split into 3 2-week rounds. Each round comes with its own leaderboard, salary limit for lineups, and awards. In Season 1, each round will have its own Ruby player reward card, and if you earn all 3 in Season 1, you get an Amethyst Victor Oladipo. This is just crazy that we're getting hyped over Rubies and Amethysts as rewards. I actually really enjoy that from 2K. I like a good lower tier card. You guys know this, so... Salary cap games will be played in a brand new format, never before seen in 2K, utilizing a 2 half-game setup. You will compete in the first half in a regular 6-minute period, trying to build the biggest lead you can. At halftime, the game changes to a fixed score ending, similar to how the recent All-Star games end. 24 points is added to the leading score at the half, and the first team to reach that target score gets the win. This format has brought some of the most competitive games yet during playtesting this summer, where second half runs and multiple defensive stops have all the focus rather than try to run out the clock. This is really interesting. It could be cool. Could make for quite a fun competitive mode. It just remains to be seen. I'll have to play it before I render judgment. Sounds stupid as shit, I'll be honest. It does. But it also sounds like it could be fun also. So, who knows? Cool. Yeah, whatever. Unlimited's changed. They've done like an unlimited limited hybrid where now they've added rings into unlimited that you're going for every week, and then you have to win 4 out of 7 games to get the ring, which is, if it has skill-based matchmaking, is going to be hell on earth. If it doesn't, cool. Also, you get to watch a little cutscene of all your players celebrating and getting super excited that they won the championship. So that's cool. Awesome. Triple Threat Online, Clutch Time's back, and Triple Threat Co-op are returning with MT earnings becoming more important, as well as, basically they improved MT earnings. Speaking of improving the experience online, sometimes your opponent can be a bit too creative when it comes to their custom court. Okay. In New Gen, if you want to avoid seeing a custom color court or other custom assets, just want to focus on defeating a matchup, you can now hide your opponent's custom assets. That's so dope. I'm so tired of seeing racial slurs. This is so sick. I'm so happy. Oh my god. I'm tired of like racial slur teams, the neon green courts. Oh, this is a blessing. This might be the best thing they've added, honestly. This is the only thing that they've added that I can confidently say is a W without having any negative drawbacks. The only negative drawback being like, will it work properly? That I'm not sure. There's a new looking for group updates now. If you want to play Triple Threat Co-op, you can actually matchmake and find people to play with. That's pretty cool. You don't have to run with AI anymore, which is pretty tight. And if you're just a single person, you're able to play, so that's cool. Clutch Time has a new look and a 24-second shot clock, so that's cool. I like that. The 12-second shot clock was a little intense. So there's new boosts for coaches, right? Your team forces 2 consecutive turnovers in the first half, and you get the boost. So coaches were a bit too overpowered, especially when it came to the like money coaches. You're getting +8, +10 on 3-pointers. It's making guys like Ben Simmons who have a 63-pointer. It's like irrelevant to even give him a 63-pointer. So I actually like what they're doing with this, where you actually have to go out of your way to do things to get the coach boosts. I can imagine that 2K is going to have some pretty wild ones at some point. There's going to be certain coaches that have easier ones than other coaches. So I like what they're doing with this, though. I think it's a lot better. It's going to suck for your offline grinders since you like just don't have that automatic boost, but it does kind of give you an incentive to play a certain way too. So it's like, I don't know, man. It's interesting, right? For example, those of you that complete the Mamba Moments mode will receive an exclusive Amethyst Kobe Bryant coach. That's cool. During the entire fourth quarter of a game, Coach Mamba will improve all your players' blinders badges to at least gold. Wow, that's cool. While players who already have a blinders badge will be boosted to Hall of Fame. That's dope. That's completely worth going to play the Mamba Moments. I'm going to do it. Other coaches may require you to go on a certain run of points, etc. Staying with the action on the court, there are a couple new additions that appear in-game. Hidden dialogue lines. Okay, that's cool. That's pretty tight, actually. The Shattered Prizes thing is essentially just murals. Basically, you pick up different pieces from playing a variety of different modes, and then you put them together and you get the card. Sapphire Robert Ory is the first one, and he has a dynamic duo with the Emerald Derek Fisher, which is cool, I suppose, right? I mean, it's cool. You can now save multiple lineups for triple threat and clutch time, which is huge. I actually like that quite a bit. That's really awesome. The edit menu screen is a little bit easier, so now you're able to quickly kind of sort a team if you need it, which is it's cool. Once again, we'll see how it works, I suppose. You can now directly enter the edit player suite from the menus. You're all in one place to improve your player cards, apply badges, and shoe cards. I wish we could like add stuff to them. Like if I could add a headband and like add an armband, that'd be cool. But you know, collector level Kobe is the final collector level prize. So I'm guessing it'll be like a GOAT or an end game or something of that nature. We will see. At launch, 24 NBA Series 1 will consist of 450, blah, 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 blah. Only up to a Sapphire, though. And each team's collection reward will be a Ruby player card. So that's how you get Brandon Roy, by the way. So that'll be fun. Yeah, cool. Sean Marion is also going to be the highest collector level card available initially. He's usually pretty good in the early game, so it just kind of depends. But hey, let me know what you think down in the comments below. I've just been rambling for about a half hour, so I appreciate you guys for taking the time to watch this video. Now, my ending thoughts on the game mode changes. My team has needed a radical shakeup for a long period of time. I feel like, you know, if you go back a little bit farther, the game mode probably feels a little bit different. But realistically, since 2K20, I mean, it's really felt the same for the last few years, especially since the addition of seasons in 2K21. It's pretty much felt like the exact same experience with different things added on. This feels like a completely different and completely new experience. Now, whether that's going to be a good thing or not is up for debate, and we'll just have to wait and see. But I think there's enough positive here and enough negative to have a very neutral mindset going into 2K24. I think when it comes to social media specifically, and maybe other like content that's out there, I feel like a lot of people take a very hardline stance on how they feel. It's either the worst shit they've ever seen, or this is super dope mega W's, right? I think the truth lies somewhere in the middle, where 2K is overhauling so many things that even if they're doing so with the best of intentions, without any skeeviness, which is unlikely, let's be real, I think that they're still going to mess a bunch of stuff up because it's fresh and it's new. So there's going to be growing pains there. There's going to be intense monetization. That's just how the game mode is. It's something that we've all come to expect at this point. It seems, as of right now, without touching the game, seems to be a slightly less predatory and slightly more user-friendly. Now, I'm sure that will change when I get my hands on the game, but we will see. I don't know. Let me know what you think down in the comments. RIP to the auction house, man, for real. I was never a sniper guy, but I just couldn't do it, you know? So I feel for all those guys, but, you know, have a good night.